Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bearded Baker Banter, the sports podcast. Welcome, Trey, to episode 95.
Yes, it is.
Wonderful Wednesday.
I think it is. Let's see. I want to say like day close to like 300 of the year. I think this year. And it's 300 days that Doug Peterson has had a job too long.
Wasn't sure where you're going with that. I was just gonna say, hey guys, notice how our streaming services are going pretty well with the huge audience that we get tuning in. Unlike Netflix this past weekend. Ooh, that was rough.
Yeah. Boxing bummer, if you will. It was that's double meaning there.
It was cheeks, right? Because we saw Mike Tyson's cheeks, and the stream was also awful. So.
It's also why I said bummer, but
it was good, Tyler. Bummer.
You guys are cracking me up. You're cracking me up. He's trying to put that fight behind him.
Well, that fight was shit.
Oh, you could have said it was ass. That would have been better.
God,
explicit.
Yeah.
Now that fight was awful. Thank God there was a good UFC fight, but
Buffer at the beginning said, "Let's get ready to rump."
Oh boy.
Keep on going. Yeah. I thought you were gonna say like Stiltskin or something.
No. Rumpelstiltskin? Rumpelstiltskin. Very good.
No, it definitely looked like Tyson threw the fight. Got his $20 million, but like I said, there was at least a good UFC fight on Saturday, which was awesome, led by the champ himself, Mr. Johnny Bones Jones. He looked a lot more dominant than I expected. And I think maybe it's because I'm used to Johnny Bones kind of just going with guys there for, how he had that stretch, probably when he was going through rehab stuff, but where he kind of had his stretch where he would just kind of like, let things happen. And then just wind up, still champ. I feel like his last couple of fights, he's actually come out and like asserted dominance. He looks a little bit different.
And Tyler, you know what? I respect him coming out and saying that he's not going to fight a dominant up and comer.
Yeah,
like
hell yeah.
At least he acknowledged the fact that Tom Aspinall is dominant. Because to be honest. Like Tyler, I did watch a fight. I thought I watched two old guys fight there. Like they didn't look fast. Aspinall's quick. He can wrestle. He can also stand up with someone. So I think he's John Jones's kryptonite, and I think John Jones knows that. And to be honest with you, I respect John Jones for going right to Pereira. You know why? Because like he said, it's a super fight. It's going to make the most money in UFC history. And John Jones can beat Alex Pereira if he actually wrestles. If he wrestles him, which no one has done yet against him, which is crazy to me.
Mind blowing.
If you're able to wrestle as a UFC fighter and you're going against Alex Pereira, then do it. Don't try to stand toe to toe with him.
And it is kind of funny too, because a lot of people look past the fact, like they just talk about how dominant he is, and he is dominant right now. But don't forget, like Adesanya did beat him. And I think John Jones is head and shoulders above anything that Israel Adesanya might have been ever.
But I don't.
He's the best fighter of all. He's the best fighter of all time.
It's a good matchup for John Jones because everyone would sit there and say, "Oh, he's going to knock him out," blah blah blah. But no, John Jones would just wrestle him to death, and that's something Alex Pereira has no experience in. In fact, I wouldn't even have any interest in watching that fight. I'd have more interest in watching I shouldn't say that. I would watch that fight 100%, but I have more interest in watching Pereira or John Jones and Tom Aspinall because that's a true threat to John Jones, in my opinion. I think that's a bigger threat than Alex Pereira is.
I don't know.
It is.
I don't think it is. I
100%.
Yeah. There's no way you'll get me to disagree or to agree with you. So
matchup wise,
to disagree.
Matchup wise, Tyler.
Just understand, John Jones is going to milk this for every dollar he can get.
Exactly.
So right now it looks like there's no chance he'll fight Aspinall. Here's the thing. Dana White's the one that can sit there and he's loving life because whether or not he gets to actually schedule an Aspinall Jones fight or a Jones Pereira fight, the UFC, right? Just like we tweeted out last Friday, Dana White and UFC were the biggest winners from that whole Jake Paul hoax. And I mean, even just the event in itself was so much better. And I know we were going to save this for later, but like, I look at it, and one thing that I thought Dana White hit perfectly, nail on the head, right, was in between boxing matches, there's literally like a full-on 30 to 40-minute podcast episode. And it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually streaming these boxing matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ooh,
and
allegedly.
Yeah. Adam Schefter uses Stream East.
Guys, streaming doesn't have to be illegal. It could be on Netflix, right? That's a streaming. But yeah, I just
or Antonio Brown's feed.
Yeah. But still, I mean, credit to Jake Paul, knows how to put on an event, knows how to make money, and he'll continue to do it. He'll continue to fight these I shouldn't say nobodies, but he's washed up or non-boxer type figures. And because here's the thing, is people always watch it. People pay, right, to go to
no matter what.
Yeah. And it's like, what have we not figured it out yet? Like, come on. Like, that's why there was that hope of Tyson potentially, taking it to him. But we all knew in reality he was so old and credit to Jake Paul. I'm not going to sit there and say he hasn't become a better fighter, as I think he is good.
Trent,
he's not Mike Tyson in his prime by any means.
To quote a very wise man and a recurring guest on this podcast, Big John Baker. This is at 12:45 in the morning. So kudos to Big John for staying up.
And he had to work at 5.
Yeah, there you go. He goes, a farce once again. I'm sick of falling for this shit. Like, I mean, if that's not wrapped up in a nutshell, I mean, dude, how many times do we sit there and say, oh, this dude's going to kick his ass finally. He's going to get taught a lesson. And it's the same thing every time. He's a genius in marketing. Everyone falls for it. You can't help but tune in. They pick a great day, right? Like nothing else going on really in the sports world. So, I respect but don't respect it. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I think Big John wrapped it up well. I don't know how I keep falling for it, and no matter who he fights next, I don't care if it's Conor McGregor in a boxing match. Jake Paul is winning. Simple as that.
Yeah. You know what Jake Paul owns it though, man. He even said, he's like, people come to watch me hopefully to get my ass knocked out. Like, he's like, so many people, he's like, I know people aren't necessarily cheering me on. He goes, they're cheering to see me get my ass kicked. And that's why everybody tuned in against Mike Tyson. So but
it's true.
Hey, it was a good weekend of sports, but let's get to the leagues that dominate the airways for half a year, right?
That is right.
All right, so I think we're going to tackle NFL football here first. Any headlines from this past week that you guys wanted to bring up in the NFL? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to stay on the track how Trey opened the episode. Is I am surprised at the lack of in-season head coaching firings right now. Like, I think there's a decent amount out there that should be canned. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right now, is there only one? Nope, there's 2. I'm sorry. I just thought of 2. Dennis Allen. So right now there's 2. I'm looking at Peterson. Peterson should be fired. Daboll should be fired. And I like him. I wish he wouldn't, but I think this move that they're making with DeVito, what the hell? Well, I guess we could talk about that because you have what's his name?
I had that on my list here to bring up.
Was it Drew Lock? Sorry, they signed Drew Lock and pay him $5 million to be a backup this year, and he's not even the guy that they're giving the nod to. But then the other one that I think needs to be fired is Bengals Bengals coach. He needs to be
fired. And let's not forget about the Bears and Eberflus.
Yeah, that's the thing is you're seeing a lot of coordinators get fired, which is just pretty much the head coach is on the way out next. But it is.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking his name slipped in my mind. Can you guys help me out here with the Bengals head
Zach Taylor.
Zach. He's got to be gone. I'm sorry, man. Like it's over now. You have and I know we could talk about this next. It's similar to what's going on with Kyle Shanahan in San Fran.
I was going to say, Trent, I think he's on the hot seat.
They're really, really good coaches, and they're going to have a job as soon as they're gone. They're going to have a job right away.
Shanahan's seat is pretty hot.
Well, I forgot it's this week, isn't it? It's Packers-Niners week.
No, also Tyler said that about Matt LaFleur last year.
Anyway, hold on. I know. But
we had
let me you're making me lose my point here, which it's lost now, damn it. But I think they just I don't know, it's that old losing the Super Bowl hangover. It's really, really hard to overcome. And it's like you have still so much talent, whether or not you have guys that are banged up. There's no excuse anymore. The Bengals are getting statistically one of the most incredible years out of Joe Burrow. That's 27 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, over 3,000 passing yards. His record right now is 4-7. Anybody that had those types of numbers that I just rattled off, Tom Brady, 2007, 2015, 16-0 and 13-3. Aaron Rodgers, 2011, 2020, 15-1, 13-3. Mahomes, 2020, 14-2. Drew Brees, 2018, 13-3. They are 4-7 with a franchise quarterback playing that good of football right now. What are you going to do? You're going to fire that defensive coordinator? Is he the problem? I don't think so.
I mean, here's the thing though, is I know Joe Burrow's putting up all kind of stats. I just don't think they ever drafted well. Because I don't think Burrow.
I the best receiver in the league right now, and
I don't care how you gonna throw him the ball. Joe Burrow's also been sacked probably more times than any quarterback in the league in the last 3-4 years, and they don't protect him. And I'm gonna make the argument though, I'm gonna make the argument to also show a running back that was pretty good, that is now stellar this year because he's with the Houston Texans, who have a pretty darn good offensive line. Is I'm going for Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon had a good run there with the Bengals, but can you imagine if they would have had an offensive line there? He is running like he is a fresh-legged rookie right now, and the guy can't be stopped.
Imagine
he's unstoppable. Who?
The Texans to protect CJ Stroud.
Texans have a better offensive line than the Bengals did.
I'd agree with that.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, but think about if the Texans could protect CJ Stroud and have that running game and a healthy receiving core. I know that's also a big deal too, but their defense is stellar. Yeah. I want to tell you what I think is a bigger problem for the Bengals. I'm sorry, is their kicking. They have a kicker that has, in 4 of their 6 losses, could have changed the lead with his field goal kicks, and he hasn't because he's missed so many. And that kind of follows the theme because Evan McPherson he just got paid. He's a great kicker, or historically a great kicker in the league. And that kind of follows the suit of well-known kickers not performing anymore this year. And that Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker, yep.
He is no longer the most accurate kicker in the NFL. As of last week, his missed kicks. Guess who is?
Who's that?
Eddie Pinheiro. From the Carolina Panthers. Most accurate kicker in NFL history.
Oh my goodness.
So
who cares?
I mean, it's by like 0.02%. So if Justin Tucker makes, I think, 2 field goals out of 2 this week, he'll get it back. But either way, it's crazy to think that Justin Tucker is automatic, right? 50-yard field goals to win the game. It was done, game over, we lost, like whatever. And now it's extra points. It's sub 45-yard field goals. Like and it's the same with McPherson. He's losing them games, and I don't know. You sent us the stat last week, Tyler, of the Bengals winning and losing 1-score games. They'd be 8-2 if the opposite outcome would have happened, right?
Trent sent it, but I brought it up.
Yeah. Trent, I'm sorry for not giving you credit. But but that goes to show you, right? Like, and if you got missed field goals in those games and missed extra points, that matters. So that's my take on it. I think their kicking is the biggest thing. You're right, Trent. Joe Burrow's having a hell of a year, but they're not going to make the playoffs. And sorry, I'm talking a lot here, but last stat I want to throw out, it brings me back to my favorite statistic in the NFL ever, is that when a quarterback loses their first Super Bowl appearance, historically they never make it back. And there's 3 quarterbacks in the league right now that fit that prototype, and that's one of them is Joe Burrow. The other one is Jared Goff.
You tell us this all the time.
Jared Goff, who could upend that, be another exception to that rule. The other one's Brock Purdy. That's all I'm going to say.
And our next session, Tyler, will be strokes gained by Trey Baker.
Fuck off.
You know, it's going to be wild is when Dre Greenlaw comes back this week.
Oh, man.
You sound like the Jets. We just got to trade for Devontae. Oh, we just got to bring Hassan Reddick back.
There's two things though that you guys are just talking about here: Niners and Jets. I want one quick thing about your Niners. A very, very similar feeling to Andy Reid in his Eagles career right now.
Can I just defend Shanahan though a little bit here, because I know he's in the hot seat.
I'm not blaming. So Ty, I'm just going to say.
I know this is kind of more for Trey's hot seat.
Tyler, I don't think he's on the hot seat. I was busting you.
He is.
Because
2019 lost Super Bowl Chiefs. 2020 was a stupid year because of everybody and everything. 21 lost the NFC Championship. 2022 didn't have a quarterback, so we lost the NFC Championship. 2023 lost the Super Bowl. All right, so
wait,
what did he do last 5 years?
Wait, what did he do with the Falcons?
Trey, but that's a completely different story. That's a different team. That's a different mantra of a core of a group. He's not the head coach. Like, that's a totally thing. But it's not. You can't cut. That's apples and oranges, dude. It's a whole different thing. I have not seen the Packers
is
in
not
any
under
of these
Shanahan's coaching tree
in the last 5 years.
And you're right.
So and you know what though, and it's not even just Trey and the Packer fans. There's Niner fans right now calling for Shanahan's head. And I'm going to tell you this about those fans is, let's be honest, those are not fans that were Tom Sola. All right.
Oh, come on. That's not fair.
Chip Kelly.
That's
all right.
Not fair,
the post Harbaugh era. People must have forgot that era between 14 and 18 because it was god awful.
Okay? Yeah, and no one should accept that.
Right. So what I'm saying is
great franchise that should never happen.
Right. So what I'm saying is that let's be a little bit thankful here. All right, looking at what's happening. All right, since Chip Kelly left. All right, we've been on the up and up, and there's no doubt about it. You know, looking at the record, because here's the other thing is, I'm not saying any team's really healthy this year. All right, but when has the San Francisco 49ers this year played with a full squad? And the answer for the rest of the season is going to be never, because Ayuk's out for the season. So just putting that out there. But they haven't played a full game this season with a full squad.
And that, besides the fact that you paid Ayuk that
and
much
they're still going to make the playoffs, which is ridiculous. Because I love Trent's little plus 200 thing there. Threw a bunch of money on that one.
I took that.
Yeah.
How much?
So, dude, Tyler,
everybody's 5-5 and 6-4. They're easily going to win the NFC West.
Besides the fact that how much you guys paying Ayuk every year?
Ooh, Trey, beer bet him on that one.
What?
He just said the Niners will easily win the NFC West. Do you agree with that statement, Trey?
I wouldn't say like guaranteed, but I do think they will. They should.
Would you give Trey the field tie on that? Like the other three teams?
No, I don't want that because realistically, the 49ers still have a super team roster and they're just very underperforming. Like, that's all that it is. Like, healthiness or not, I don't care if you don't have the best running back, you still have the best offensive line, you still have the best wide receiving core. You apparently have a really good quarterback, so he should be able to win without the super team. So
he's been the only consistency that's been there. So you can try to dog on him all you want because he's been the only reason that we've been in any game.
Okay.
Well, guys, why don't you let your teams handle it on the field?
Well, no, because
here comes the Stop. Don't make the excuse. Don't. It's in Green Bay. Your team right now has a much better record and looks a heck of a lot better right now than Niners.
Agree.
I agree. You're favored to win.
Yeah, by 2 points. All I'm going to say
I don't want to hear anything about referees. Don't even mention referees.
I'm not going to say that. Unless they do call a bad game, I will absolutely call them out for that. But what I'm going to say is that this is a must-win game for the 49ers. It truly is.
Hey, we don't have work on Monday
because
you can
if
have a couple beverages with
what I'm going to say is this is not.
I'm not drinking any beverages with him and watching this game.
Oh hell no!
I will never watch this game with Tyler ever in my life.
Tyler and I can watch a Duke Carolina game.
No, I'll never watch a Packers Niners game ever with Tyler or his son.
That's because Trey is feisty.
No, it's because anyway.
You're the one that text messages all the time.
Okay.
No. Anyway, what I'm going to say is that I'm not going to bet on this game this weekend because you guys are in a must-win situation. Absolutely must win. If you lose this game, you could go down 3 games and a tiebreaker against the number 1 team in your division with 6 weeks left. That's tough to overcome. So tough spot for the Packers. We're not healthy. We're not healthy. I don't care what you guys say. We're actually just as unhealthy as what you guys are, Tyler, to be fair.
Yeah,
for who? The Packers?
Yeah.
Luke Musgrave, Elgin Jenkins are all pro offensive linemen. We got Jair Alexander out. We have another safety out. Javon Bullard is out. Should I keep going?
Yeah.
No. Which are actually probably more. Marshawn Lloyd is out, who just came back.
Marshawn Lynch?
No, Marshawn Lloyd.
I know.
He's out.
Yeah, you guys got your dings, but that's why it's the NFL.
And Jordan Love hasn't been healthy all season. He's playing with an injured MCL and groin all year, which is tough. But yeah, I just think it's not. I would bet on the Niners +2. I actually will bet on them this weekend +2 because it's a smart bet because it's a must-win game for the 49ers. It's the must-win game.
No way.
The Packers are 7-3. The Packers are 7-3. This is if we lose this game, let's learn from it. Let's get them next time.
If you actually bet on the Niners, you're not an actual Packers fan. Period.
Tyler,
no person that's
Niners. I never bet against the Packers, but what I'm saying is it's a smart bet. It's a must-win. It's a must-win game for you guys, Tyler. Do you agree?
I know. Trey, do I agree? Every game's a must-win game.
No, that's not true.
When you're 500, yes, every game is a must-win game.
You're not even 500, are you?
Yeah, they're 5-5.
Okay, all right. Well,
3 teams are 5-5. The Cardinals are 6-4.
So if you lose this game, are you what do you think?
Am I nervous?
You're still the best team in that playoff team.
They're still going to make the playoffs.
Okay.
They're gonna win the division at probably 10-7.
Okay.
In case
so you would have to win out if you lose the Packers then.
No, I said 10-7.
10-7 might not make a wild card, or
the NFC.
The NFC West, they're going to win the NFC West.
The NFC is better than the AFC, Trent, this year.
No.
Yes,
I don't agree with that either, Trey.
No. Look at the records. Look at the fucking records.
Who's the records?
Name. Okay, the Packers are the 7 seed, or no? The Commanders are the 7 seed.
Okay.
Who's the 7 seed? Who's the 7 seed for the AFC? Who's the 7 seed for the AFC?
Trey, the Commanders are 7-4.
Trent,
and they haven't beat anybody that's like above 500.
Who is the 7th seed for the AFC?
I don't know off the top of my head.
It might be.
No, like
I think
like
it's worse than the Chargers.
The Ravens.
At what?
Yeah.
At what?
7-4.
So what are the other teams?
The Chargers are 7-3, and they're the 5th seed.
Okay.
6th seed is the Ravens, 7-4, and then the Broncos are 6-5.
So
and then in the NFC, it's the Vikings. They're 8-2. Packers are 7-3. Commanders are 7-4. Is your wild card?
Commanders are 7-4, Tyler.
Yeah,
that's what I just said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Trey. Wait, I mean, I look at the top teams. Chiefs. You can hate on the Chiefs. I know they're not playing well, but the 9-1 speaks for itself, and they're beating anybody they play. Lamar Jackson. I think I don't know if he's ever lost
against the Broncos.
I don't know if he's ever lost against an NFC team, and he's the 7th seed. You've got the Buffalo Bills who just beat the Chiefs. You got the Steelers who right now, we laugh all they want. They just beat the Ravens by not even scoring a touchdown. They kicked 6 field goals. Which
so what does that tell you?
That they're just good. They can win ugly football.
The Ravens are also really good.
I believe the Ravens are the top offense in football right now.
They just lost a game to a team that never scored a touchdown.
I mean, right now, I mean, who's the best team in the NFC right now? Eagles.
The Lions?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Lions. Sorry.
And then you got the Eagles.
I would say yeah. Right now, in terms of best team in the NFL, I would definitely power ranking wise, I would make the Lions the top one.
Yes.
But overall, I think the very top division, I do believe the AFC is better.
I mean, Trey, you can make the argument though for this is that, well, hold on, but Trey, the Cardinals, okay, are leading as a 3 seed at 6-4. The Falcons are a 4 seed at 6-5. So while the wild card looks a lot stronger because of certain divisions, and if you look at across the board, that the top 1 through 4 is a lot stronger, and the wild card's technically stronger.
But I don't agree with that because you're playing team like the Falcons play the Bucks twice, right? Okay, and the Bucks are, I think, just as good, if not better, than the Falcons. And what was the other team you brought up?
Cardinals.
The Cardinals. That whole division, the Rams, the Niners, the Seahawks, they could all win. And like everyone on that team is just as good, like as each other. The AFC depends. They might. I think it's the glass top 4 seeds might be 9-2, 9-2, 8-3 because they're playing nobody. The Chiefs are barely scraping by against the Broncos, which are the 5th seed. Like that's a joke. Who do the Broncos have, Trent?
Sorry, 7th seed.
I mean, I think Bo Nix looks better than you think.
A rookie quarterback. Who else?
So is Jaden Daniels, and I think Bo Nix is now making a push for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, exactly, Trent. But who else do they have? That's not a good team.
Javonte Williams doing good. Cortland Sutton. I think Cortland Sutton's out now.
I
don't really understand.
All pros? Any all pros?
But Trey, they're 6-5. I mean, other than they get to play the Raiders 2 times a year, which that's favorable for anybody.
And also 2 of the other best teams apparently in the NFL. That's the Chargers and Chiefs, right?
They are right now. How can you argue against it?
So
Chargers defense, Trey, is very
good. I don't think
Chargers defense is doing that. Coordinator out there in LA for the Chargers is doing exactly what he did to Penn State every year. Shut him down.
Let me just ask you a simple yes or no question because I don't know how you can say one way or the other. Which division has better teams this year, the NFC or the AFC?
That was such a dig at Penn State.
Oh no! Answer my question. Which team? Which division is better, the NFC or the AFC this year? Like
AFC.
Top to bottom. That is so wrong, Trent.
All right. Well, listen, agree to disagree on this. I would like to bring up one thing is that if we could quickly just talk about my Super Bowl AFC team, the Chargers.
Yeah.
Pretty good position right now. So who knows, man? I did say Jim Harbaugh to have the boys playing defensively. Trent, you're right. His defense is really kind of the stronghold of his team. And I don't know. Herbert looks pretty damn good. You know, he looks like he's comfortable. for the first time in his career, in my opinion. But they're sitting there at 7-3 as a wild card team. That's sitting pretty where they're at. That's one of those dangerous wild card teams where all of a sudden you get into the mix of the playoffs. You got to look out for that. So
you cannot deny that Harbaugh is just a damn good coach.
Mm-hmm. He's a very
love him or hate him. That guy can coach football.
Yeah.
Well, anything else here headline wise before we get into a special segment?
The only thing that is there's a new MVP favorite, Josh Allen. However, I do believe this past week made my case for just between the two Ravens stars that Derrick Henry is much more deserving of an MVP than Lamar Jackson. Lamar looked like big game Lamar, which is a joke of a quarterback in big time situations. He cannot step up against the Chiefs in the playoffs. He cannot ever step up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they have been more talented year in and year out with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, granted, if you look at the records, the past 2 years prior to this season, they play the Ravens Steelers.
Sorry about that.
That was
sorry.
Wow.
The Ravens Steelers have played last game of the season, and the Ravens have sat their starters. So, like, those losses, they shouldn't count against Lamar's record, but I think they do. But I just there's no excuse for what the Ravens did. It was kind of like, I would say, equivalent to what we really got fired up with the Eagles coach and not giving the ball to Saquon Barkley. Because now all of a sudden after that week, they're giving the damn ball to Saquon Barkley, and that looks like an absolute entirely different team. Matter of fact, Trey has a $25 wager on them to win the Super Bowl. So,
all right,
thanks, cousin Matt.
And Trent, I do agree though. That's
give the ball to Derrick Henry. Like, what the hell are you thinking? God, it drove me. What is 0 touches in the fourth?
Hey, here you go. Do you think those two guys like kind of reset the market for running backs going forward, or what?
Who? Saquon and Derrick Henry?
Yeah, guys that demanded, probably two of the most deserving guys to be demanded, like, paid for their roles, I guess, and they are showing up, right?
Yeah, but they're also very unique to their positions. I mean, like we've always talked about it, like there's a very certain caliber of running back where if you're not in a two-part system, like
Trent did not think Saquon was that type of running back.
If he's healthy, here's the thing.
Thank
Trey.
you. That's all.
Trey, if he's healthy,
he wasn't Trent. But you kept saying
Trey, let me finish. He's healthy. All right. We all agree that Saquon's an amazing running back.
That was my
agree that Derrick Henry is an amazing running back.
Okay.
I would put McCaffrey up in the category of those running backs.
Best of the decade. Best of this decade is Derrick Henry.
Well, and hang on though. And right now, at least I'm just sticking with this season. I would put Joe Mixon up there. All right, in terms of a top running back this season.
Yeah, this season.
That's my argument. That's my argument. Is look at those caliber of running backs. Now, Chris McCaffrey hasn't played, but I'm saying like, but it's Gibbs and Montgomery. Like, there's not one where you could be like, whoa, he's gonna have 150 yards this game because, and it's not and it's not a fault to them. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that they're both just a 1-2 punch good system. But there are not a lot of teams out there that just have that one stud running back.
But that's what I'm saying though, is like when you do get that stud running back, like the Giants had or the Titans had or the Lions have right now, like now going forward, are you going to pay these guys?
Nope.
Well, okay, that's crazy to me. Like that's crazy.
I think you pay very specific ones. But if you're a Gibbs or Montgomery, if you're Gibbs or Montgomery, not disagreeing with that, Trey, but it's a business. If you're a Gibbs or Montgomery and you're going to say, hey, I want top running back money, you're not going to get it.
You will from a different team. You absolutely will.
No, you're not going to reset the market.
Or someone that sees the value in you, like the Giants didn't give Saquon the money he deserved. And guess who did? His interdivision rival, and now they are arguably the top 2 team in the NFC.
And they paid they paid all their money to Daniel Jones. Can I just say, Trey, to kind of answer your question, I think where Tyler's getting at is the running back position. I think there's a very, very specific tier of special guys that do deserve the money, like a Saquon, Derrick Henry, McCaffrey. Those are the guys that deserve
that's really it.
money. Jonathan Taylor's making, I mean, even in a pretty crappy situation.
What's
Jonathan Taylor?
I still think
he's saying he is making money.
Yeah, he is. I'm saying, but that's where I also look at everybody else in the league.
Okay, and Josh Jacobs,
not top tier. I think that's what you're starting to find though, Trey. Is like you take some of these guys and you can really. It's like what we always talk about the Chiefs. Is the Chiefs make do with a a multiple back type system where. Yeah, Pacheco was their guy for the past couple of years, but
so Josh Jacobs, third in league in rushing.
Okay, I'm not.
You're not. Trey, but Trey, you're not listening.
You're not. You're blind.
I am.
Cheese.
What I'm
you got
saying,
cheese in your goddamn eyes.
No. Shit. What I'm trying to say is, Trent, is that you have these guys that are performing for your team, and you might, they're not.
Not going to reset the market. You're not. You're just not going to reset the running back market. It's a dying position. It's a dying because this is just.
All right. Well, let's get into everybody's favorite segment.
Bearded Best Bets.
All right. So, anybody want to start us off in the NFL?
Yeah, I got you. My best bets for NFL this week. I'm going to kind of list them in order of what I actually like. My favorite down to like, I still like it, but I'm not 100% convinced yet. I like Cardinals money line. I know they are given like a point to a point and a half in some books. I'm just going to take them straight up winning. I think they will against Seattle. Seattle's kind of coming off a big comeback win. I know it's in Seattle, but I think maybe a little hangover effect there. And I think Cardinals are coming off of a bye. So that gives them 2 weeks to prepare for Seattle. I got Eagles, Eagles -2.5 at the Rams. I look at cornerback wise, who's been able to lock down the other team's primary receiver for like 7 straight weeks. I think the Eagles are just playing really good football right now. Not that I'm a fan of them. And they finally decided to give the ball to Saquon. I like the Ravens. I like the Ravens to beat the Chargers. I think Ravens are going to be playing a little desperate, so I'm going to take Ravens money line. I also do believe, even though the Ravens defense is getting a lot of hate this year, I do believe the switch to keeping Hamilton now back at safety was a smart move. That really showed against the Steelers, and whether you like the Steelers offense or don't, I know that's not great, but they really did a good job of holding them to, if you hold a team to 6 field goals, you should be winning the game. Yeah. Especially with the number 1 offense in the league and over 75% scoring in the red zone, touchdowns wise. But and the last one, this line I just hate. I would rather take an alternate and get it down a half point or so, is Lions -7.5 at the Colts. I mean, ride the train. They're pounding teams, and I know the Lions just lost probably their best inside backer to a broken forearm now, which sucks.
You're talking about Anal Zone?
Anzalone.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just so every time I see his name, I think I look at him like, oh, Anal Zone. It's Anzalone, just like McManus.
Yeah, so that kind of hurts, but I just think the Lions, once again, they have a culture there that is going to allow them to, I think, continue to do what they're doing, which is just shred kneecaps left and right. So those are my 4.
All right. Trey, who you got?
Yeah, I got 3 this week. So I got the Rams +3. I know you're on the opposite of that. I think it's the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that the Rams are on the up and up. Eagles are also on the up and up, but I just think the Rams are hotter. I like Sean McVay coaching his team to getting a 3-point cushion. So that's why I went with them. I'm also going Commanders minus 10.5. I just think the Cowboys are very, very bad.
They looked
I think
awful the other night.
Yeah. With their backup quarterbacks, I don't know who they're going to play, who they're going to go with. But I think it's kind of a statement game for the Commanders coming off a loss to the Eagles interdivision game. So I think 10.5 seems like a steep line, especially interdivision. But I think the Cowboys are just that bad, and I think Vegas knows that. Lastly, I'm going to go Cardinals +1. I know the Seahawks are coming off a good win against the Niners, especially in Levi Stadium, right?
Man, kicking it old school
Yeah.
there.
But I don't think that's a fluke either. I think it was more of a fluke for the Seahawks to pull that off on that last drive. And I think the Cardinals are kind of a legit team, so that's why I'm going Cardinals +1. Those are the only 3 NFL bets I have this week, though. The other 3 are college.
I was kind of surprised to see that the spread with the Seattle game and the Cardinals game was only 1, which made me want to just stay away. But I don't know. And then if Dallas needs an extra defender, they can always get some more metal to fall from their ceiling.
Man, yeah.
Did you see that? That almost hit a guy.
Yeah,
that literally almost killed a guy. Like,
I didn't see it. I
heard it was
about
nuts.
Jeez.
Like, it was insane. But all right, I have a little bit more than I normally have here for this week with the NFL. I have the Chiefs Panthers. I have over 42.5. That's going to be a game where I think Chiefs are going to score a little bit more, and I think the Panthers might actually put a couple points up on the board too. 42.5 is a little bit of a low line. I know the NFL lines are usually pretty low, but I'm going over there. Detroit Lions, I got minus 7.5 against the Colts. I don't like that hook, but I'm going to take it. I got the Patriots +7 against the Dolphins. Even though it's in Miami, I think the Patriots just always play the Dolphins tough. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of like one of those bugaboo games there for the Dolphins. Yes, I said bugaboo. I got Cowboys Commanders. I'm not going with a line there just because I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. And that's also one of those games too. I think Trey, you mentioned that, Commanders are obviously the much better team. 10.5 was a lot for me. I have been seeing a lot of rumors that they're going to start a lot of young guys for the Dallas Cowboys to see what they have, which is also kind of the way of saying we're going to legally tank, in my opinion. So I think that Trey Lance is actually going to play quarterback because if they do want any sort of spark, I think they got to try something to see what they do have. I mean, they're paying a guy some money, but
if that's your spark, you're in serious crap.
Dude, I mean, they got to try something. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad. I mean, you have CD Lamb and that's it. Like, there's times where like all they do is just throw it and look for CD Lamb, and he has like 25 catches. The last one that I have then is against yours, Trent. I'm taking the Chargers money line. Tough one, Harbaugh against Harbaugh. I think that defense will prevail with Jim Harbaugh's defense. It's in LA, so I'm gonna go Chargers there. It's a little bit of a tough. I mean, believe the Chargers are dogs.
I was gonna say you're gonna take that over the 3.5. You're gonna take straight up money line.
Yeah.
Wow, positive value.
Yeah, plus 124.
I'll beer bet you I'll bet you the Ravens beat the Chargers. If you're taking money line, I'm taking money line.
You want to go line?
No, we're both on money line. I even just asked you. I was like, "Wow, you're not on it." Nope, I'm on money line. Okay, let's go. Saddle up.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh, wait. Awkward.
No, we do. Is that what you do?
Thanks.
Yeah, Trey hooks it. Trey
you gotta show that
there's
you're
like a goblet, like little. I don't know what to do with my hands.
You gotta angle your hand, like.
What are you doing there, Shay? Oh, do it above the screen.
Definitely below the screen.
Yeah.
Awful. Hey, make sure you burp in the microphone while you do it too.
I did do that tonight. Yep.
All right.
Wow.
Let's slide on into college football. Yeah. So obviously, the college football playoff came out last night. So they released their newest edition. I was not a happy camper.
I'm confused. I'm confused about it.
Are you confused? Let me ask you. You're confused about how Boise's up there.
Right.
So it does not have to be, from my understanding, it does not have to be a power conference as a top 4 seed.
See, that was my understanding that it did.
No, I don't think it. I think it's now just out of all the teams there that are like on track to be a conference. So like if what is that called? Is the group of 5, correct?
Right. The non-power 5s.
Yeah, so if there's out of the group of 5
on a non-power 4.
Right. Yeah, sorry.
Because Boise State is but I think they're called group of 5, guys. Group of 5 out of the group of 5, because they are ranked higher than any Big 12 team. Because if you look in there,
I think they're called the Blue-Eyed 6.
Stop it. If you look at the actual rankings on the left-hand side,
that's not how it was portrayed, though. Like it was portrayed that it is.
Well, I think
you power would 4, and
because
then
you would assume
best group of 5 player team. If it's not if they're ranked higher than 12, they're automatically the 12. If they're lower than 12, then it's the next best team that isn't a power 5 champ or group of 5 champ.
Well, I like this. I like this.
So what is Boise ranked?
They're ranked 12th.
Okay.
And BYU is 14th.
So they should be 12th. And what is it? Tennessee? Tennessee should be in. Yes.
That was my understanding.
So, and BYU is out. What's BYU?
No, you have to have, guys, there is an automatic bid from the Big 12, and BYU is the highest ranked Big 12 team.
So then they should still be 4.
So they should be 4. Right?
Yes.
I don't
and
think
BYU
so.
would be 12.
I'm pretty sure, guys, like it is now. If the group of 5 is higher than one of those, so like this is the case where let's say a conference just sucks, right? And I think they did this with the thought of the ACC. I really do.
Holy fuck! If you're Ohio State, you're guaranteed.
Right there, yeah. That's
what the shit?
Well,
that's stupid as hell.
That's a good point you're making, though, Trey. Is basically if you're not your conference championship winner, you want to be ranked 5th because you're going to get the most favorable matchup.
Right.
Because here's the thing: it's either going to be Colorado potentially, or it's going to be Boise State.
How is Notre Dame in there without
it's going to be BYU
championship?
Exactly.
That's not fair.
That was my argument last week too.
It's not. But guys, let's just be real. When you sit there and look at
they benefit from not playing a conference championship.
Yeah.
So to that point though, no, Trey's not wrong. That our favorite SEC Finnbaum, isn't that his name?
Yeah.
Feinbaum.
Figures.
Yeah. Allegedly. I'm just kidding. But he had a whole thing that came out is that like, are you going to benefit from not playing in the conference championship?
Yes.
And there's some teams looking at this, and even based on the SEC, you might.
Okay, even based on the Big Ten. So what happens if Ohio State loses again? Is Penn State the 5 seed? Yeah. Even though Ohio State beat us and we've never had to play Oregon. Like,
then
they might have to play Oregon twice, and they might have 2 losses to Oregon, and we're a better ranked team than we should be if that's like.
I think if Ohio State If Ohio State loses this week, absolutely.
You think Ohio State's out?
No.
Wait, to Indiana.
Do you think if Ohio State loses to Indiana, is Ohio State out?
No.
Then does somebody jump in and somebody drop out?
I think the same group stays as it is. It's just I think I would think Ohio State drops.
Okay,
I'm looking at it here. I would say Ohio State probably drops to either 10, 11 or 9, 10 or 11.
Man, I mean,
I'm going to make this. Can I make a really bold statement?
Ohio State's going to play Penn State in a playoff game.
No, I was going to say this. If Texas loses to Texas A&M, not this week, but the following, Texas is out.
You watched the show, didn't you?
No,
they did a whole. There was the ESPN show. They did like a whole. Hey, if you win out, if you don't win out, if you lose, if you do this, there is a possibility that if A&M does lose, if A&M does beat Texas, that Texas actually is out of the playoff and would actually help Tennessee.
Wow.
Now, my other argument to this though too is that you have Ole Miss sitting in there, right? I know Ole Miss beat Georgia, okay, but you also have an Ole Miss team that lost to a 4-6 Kentucky team.
Okay, I need to backtrack myself, guys. I'm going back, and now I'm agreeing with you, Trey and Tyler.
With what?
This doesn't make sense to me. You're right, because I am under the understanding that if you're a Power 4 conference, no matter what, you're a top 4 seed. So yeah, I don't understand where this comes from.
Because they're Mountain West, right?
Yeah, it's not Power 4. You can't. I maybe it's a space filler, guys. Maybe it's like
I think it's because Boise is ranked ahead of BYU in the actual rankings.
But you can't. But now, once it comes to the championship game, like if Colorado wins out, Colorado will be the 4 seed.
Correct.
Like they'll get a bye
out of the Big 12
because they'd be a higher ranked overall than Boise State.
I don't think they will jump Boise State. Not if Boise State wins out, they're not going to jump because Colorado's back at like 17th, correct?
Yeah.
There's no way. So you got this week, next week,
14.
and then it's conference championship week.
Right.
So it's like I don't think that's true, Trey. I think Boise State could end up being ranked. They could end up
being the 11th seed. But then whoever is the next highest ranked team that is excluded gets into the 12th seed. Like,
boy,
that's what they don't understand is that the 12th ranked team isn't always going to be the 12th ranked automatic bid. It could be a 10 or 11 or 9 seed that is Boise State.
I guess what they're doing right now is they're just putting them there because the 4 and the 12 are going to flip by the end of it. Like they put.
What if it doesn't though?
They have to. We need an expert on here. I need to.
They explain it every week, dude, and it doesn't make it. Still doesn't.
I gotta read how Boise State's at 4 because
I thought it was 1 through 4 were the Power 4 conferences champs.
Yeah, that's where I'm backtracking.
The 12th seed, if they weren't ranked higher than 12, is the highest ranked
group of
5 champ. So whoever is the champion of all of those divisions, whoever's the highest ranked is automatic 12. Unless they're ranked 10th or 11th or 9th. Like,
so then so then Trey, based on that explanation, then I guess what they're looking at here is that you guys are right in saying that Boise State is ahead of BYU in the rankings. So therefore, they would be able to jump to that 4 spot.
But I don't think that's
you would take that. That's but
like I thought those what you just designated to the Power 4 and the 12 or the outside of the 4, whatever you're ranked is the group of 5. That's
so I guess so. This would be the outlier then, because right now BYU, correct me if I'm wrong, is the only Big 12 team that's in the top 12. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So then because there's an outside the Power 4 team is ranked higher than them. Now what they're doing is they're giving that team the 4 spot because the Big 12 doesn't have a team that is better than them.
Yeah,
that's because Trey, whatever you said made me understand it more.
No, because you're right, Tyler. So what they're assuming is that Boise State is going to win their conference.
I'm just gonna,
because if Boise State didn't win their conference, BYU becomes that 4 seed.
Can I just tell you what I read?
What?
This is how it's possible. It's not Power 4. Those 4 seeds are not for the Power 4.
Hold on, what the fuck?
The Broncos were ranked number 12 in this week's poll, but as the 4th highest ranked presumed conference champion. Presumed conference, because they are the 4th highest ranked conference champion.
Okay.
That is how. So if this holds true, Boise State could be the 4 seed.
So,
because that'd be a Mountain West team that's ranked higher than a Big 12 team.
Yeah,
correct.
It's the 4th. Once again, let me read it again.
So,
they are the 4 highest ranked conference champion.
Yeah,
so those are the 4 seeds.
Realistically, though, if we're speaking realism, the only team that could make this possibly happen is Boise State. Because if Boise State loses their conference championship, if they lose one more game, it's going to be the Big 12 champ in that 4 spot, no matter what. Yeah, because no team is even close to Boise in terms of rankings.
Army.
So,
what are they?
Army's 18th,
19th.
Okay, well,
That's close.
Well,
I like this. I like this crazy. I mean, it's taken us because
there's so many possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, it's released tonight, right? For
so
us,
much room for activities.
Or last night, but I love it. I mean, I think this. I said it before. The best thing is not even just the college playoff the way it is. The best thing was that they got rid of conferences within conferences. Sorry, divisions within conferences, because you now got to see Georgia, who has the number 1 strength of schedule. They've lost to Bama, right? They beat Texas. They beat Tennessee. They lost to Ole Miss. It's like, this is how it's supposed to be. Is these teams aren't just always walking in and staying undefeated because their division within their conference was a cakewalk, right? Like, this is how it's supposed to be.
I'll be honest with you. Can I tell you what I really want to see in terms of a conference championship?
Yeah,
I really, really want to see Oregon and Indiana.
Me too.
I almost called him Cincinnati because of the coach. Oregon and Indiana. No, like Cignetti. Like, I almost called him Cincinnati. I want to see Oregon, Indiana. I'd love that.
I think Miami's going to be out of here.
Completely.
I think Miami's going to be out completely. I think BYU is going to be out completely. And I think Notre Dame's going to be out completely because Army's going to take it to them this week.
Dude, that's America. I said as a Tennessee fan, I am the biggest. This hurts me to say, biggest Gator fan this week, because if the Gators beat Ole Miss in the swamp, Ole Miss is out, right?
Have to be.
If Notre Dame, I'm also I'm a big Army fan this week. Army beats Notre Dame, Notre Dame's out, right? And then we'll talk about picks then, but BYU has a very, very tough matchup this week with Arizona State. So BYU loses. I think BYU's out.
Guys, though, okay. I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit before. If Indiana beats Ohio State, why isn't Ohio State out?
Yeah. I mean, Ohio State's best win is Penn State, correct?
Yeah, and can I state my reason, though? But Tennessee beat Alabama.
Yeah, correct? I know. That's what pisses me off, that they put Tennessee out.
So there's an argument for it. There's an argument for it to be made. I'm just saying. So we'll see.
Yeah. Right now, Ohio State's only loss is to Oregon, and their best win is Penn State. I mean, other than that, it's Western Michigan, Marshall, Michigan State, Iowa, Nebraska.
Yeah, but it's
Purdue, Northwestern. Right, but I'm saying like that's the only win that they have to hang their hats on.
I know, but they also have the best loss, Tyler.
Best loss and a top 3 road win.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be
So
a very Oregon. If Ohio State loses to Indiana this week, I think that they're no better than an 11.
Oh, God bless whoever's matched up. Whoever gets Notre Dame is. I mean, here's the thing: is there's a lot of hate right now on Indiana being up there. A lot of hate.
There should be more hate on Alabama being that far up there.
Well, Indiana hasn't played a soul.
And Ole Miss, who lost to a 4-6 Kentucky team.
I'd be more mad about Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss, Kentucky, 4-6. Which you're saying that's less of a bad loss than a Tennessee losing to Arkansas, who's 5-5. That's the comparable loss right now.
Wait, who did Ole Miss lose to?
Kentucky.
And what about Bama? What's Vandy's record?
7-4.
Man, it's messy. This is going to be interesting. I love it though. This is like you're not looking at the college playoff and being like, oh, here we go, same 4 every year. This is good. Oregon's the only team that clinched their conference championship matchup so far.
Saw that.
So
SMU will be interesting to watch too. But
that's who I'm thinking going to get in. They're going to get in.
They should.
I hope so. First year in the ACC, that'd be pretty cool.
It would be pretty cool.
Death penalty to first ever 12-team playoff appearance. Think about that.
That'd be there's an ESPN 60, 30 for 30 or whatever.
60 for 60, 30 for 30, whatever you want to make it, man.
Hey, man. All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
Hang on a second. I got to get us back to normal there. There we go. All right. Here we go.
Bearded best bets.
All right. Here we go. We got the college games. I don't have a ton of bets.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. I have 2, guys. I only have 2.
Totally sarcastic. You have 2?
Oh, that's it right now. I was very, very stingy this week. It's part of that whole, like, these past 2 weeks with the SEC doing their little built-in bye weeks where they play some small conferences.
Yeah.
Which pisses me off. You got 42-point spreads, but I'll just rattle off my 2 real quick. SMU minus 9.5 at Virginia. SMU has everything in the world to play for. Virginia, I'm not sure, really, to be honest, what they have to play for. Maybe bowl eligibility, but yeah, I'm going SMU minus 9.5. And then you know what? Part of it is I'm betting with my heart is let's go Hoosiers plus 13. Give them that many points. I know they haven't played a tough schedule, but like they're a good football team. Like they've got
at Ohio State too.
Yeah, I'm a believer. I mean, I'm going to put something on their money line, guys. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And once again, I'm betting with my heart.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. It's going to give me something to get up for, and right after my first aid CPR training on a Saturday morning, which I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're to miss that game.
Yeah. No, it'll be close to being over by then.
What time is your CPR at?
I think it starts at 8.
All day.
Wait.
All right. Any other bets?
Takes you all day to learn CPR?
You need, but like I said, I'm a Cignetti, hell of a story. Assistant at Alabama, IUP head coaching job. I want to say, was it Citadel for a little bit, and then JMU, and now at Indiana. And for him to, I mean, I know the transfer portal helps, but that's quite the rebuild in a very, very short amount of time. The only thing I will give credit to is the coach before him, who's the defensive coordinator for Penn State. He did have a good how do I say, program in place. Like it wasn't completely like in shambles there at Indiana, but Cignetti did and said the right things to get that university to, hey, we're a basketball school, but let's pay attention to our football team this year too. So let's go. Plus 13 Hoosiers.
Yeah. So Trent, I'm also in agreement with that bet. I didn't make it one of my best bets, but kind of overlooked it, and I'm a little upset I did because 13.5 points for that type of game is absurd. The 3 bets that I do have though are Colorado, who I despise betting on. The only time I've bet on Colorado successfully was Deion Sanders' first game as their head coach. So 2.5 points. I think it's against Utah this week. I'm going to take it because if they want to have any chance at the playoff, they got to win this game. And I think 2.5 points is a good line. Next is Texas, 20.5 point favorites. It's a lot. They're playing Kentucky, I believe. I know we just talked about they just beat Ole Miss, but I think Texas has to avoid that 2-loss tie break kind of situation for them to be solidified in the SEC championship. So I think it's going to be a statement game for them. That's why I'm going with them. 3 touchdown favorites. Last is Iowa State -7. It's a late game against. Oh no, they're playing Utah. Colorado is playing Kansas. So sorry about that. Yeah. Iowa State's team playing Utah. I think Utah's struggling without Cam Rising. I think that they will continue to, since he's not going to return, it sounds like. And Iowa State, I think they're a good team.
Trey, did
22nd.
Trey, did you say Colorado's a dog?
No.
They're favorited 2.5?
Yes. I know they're away at Kansas, but Kansas only has Jaden Daniels, or I don't know if that's named Jaden Daniels, but the quarterback.
I was surprised that line was that close.
Jalen Daniels.
Why? I mean, Kansas has just smacked Iowa State, and they go in and they beat. Did they smack? I'm pretty sure they smacked
Texas.
They beat BYU in BYU. Like
yeah.
Kansas is actually they're looking pretty good.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I feel like Colorado's always overhyped. That's why it surprises me.
Yeah, but this year, I also think that Colorado's been undercapped because
of last year.
Yeah. And the beginning of this year, I think that they were a favorite because of Deion, and they got overcompensated with. And now I think they're doing the opposite with them, which is
you got to hop on. Don't forget the Bison gave them a game week 1.
Yeah, the Bison. Yeah.
All right. I am also on Indiana +13. So is that a trifecta right there?
Yeah, I would add it if I had time.
All right. I got Indiana +13. I got Florida +10 in the swamp, hoping that they do win. I got Rutgers, Illinois under 48. I got Penn State, Minnesota under 45. I think that game will be tight. I do think Penn State wins, but somehow Minnesota's defense is always tough each week. Trey, I am opposite of you on the Texas game. I'm taking Kentucky +20.5. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like Texas is just on the brink of falling apart. And I don't know what it is. There's this, there's games where they're like, whoa, look at Texas. And then there's games where they're like, whoa, where's Texas?
Whoa. Yeah.
So, I'm going to take 20.5 for Kentucky. I think their defense does show up to play. I think they actually give Texas a run for their money. That could be a game that Texas may see slip. So now it is in Texas, so I don't know.
They can't afford it. They can't afford that.
I know they can't. But Texas also couldn't afford to lose to Georgia. And they got slaughtered. So
they could afford it.
So there's not a lot Texas can't afford because that's a very wealthy school. Lots of boosters.
Right. I'm also on. I don't know if anybody said this. I'm on Arizona State's money line against BYU. Arizona State's -3.5 favorite, which is one of those weird lines, but I feel like a lot of people are going to be on BYU, but I'm taking Arizona State to beat them. It's at Arizona State. Going back to one of my faithful teams.
Can you just realize that Arizona State was projected to win like 3.5, 4.5 games this year?
Yeah,
and they are
rolling.
They're 8-2, 8-3,
Yep,
I think.
8-2,
Yeah.
8-2.
Yeah.
Trey, don't make this team your bet on Saturday, please. I'm going Texas Tech -3.5 against Oklahoma State. And my final game, wishful thinking, praying, hoping, Army +14.5 at Notre Dame in South Bend. I really think that Army might shock the Irish. But I'm going to take the points with that.
I don't know. I have nightmares of me betting Navy +17.5 against Notre Dame. Just get absolutely shit on.
Yeah.
God, I don't know if that quarterback's going to be able to hold up the way that they play against a Notre Dame defense.
We'll see. It'd be nice, though. It'd be a pretty cool story. And can I ask you this, too? Like, why doesn't anybody discount Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois, who has just not been good
Best
the rest
win
of the season?
Best win, Texas A&M.
It's just who?
That's Notre Dame's, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's what I said last week. Northern Illinois put up 9 points against Miami, Ohio last night. 9 total points. And you want to sit here and say, Notre Dame, no. I just think it's absurd. And going back to the fact they don't play a championship game, but that's what it is. So we shall see. Anything other basketball-wise or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple. At least I know the game that's on my radar. The game that's on my radar, obviously, as a Duke fan, is this Friday. Duke takes on Arizona at Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona dropped in the rankings. I thought they were top 5 or top 10, but I'm not seeing any lines out yet for them. I've been keeping an eye on it, but yeah, Duke plays Arizona this is a late one, 10:30 p.m. on Friday night. So that is what will be occupying my time.
So Friday night special there.
Yeah, Duke needs a ranked win for the season. They haven't gotten one yet. So
Trey, your St. John's team has a big game on Thursday against Baylor.
Yes,
that should be a good game. Illinois, Alabama's tonight at 9:00. Last night there was a slaughtering of Marquette over Purdue, which I know Trent, you brought up. What the heck was the deal with that line?
Fishy, but I was on the right side. I was on the right side of it.
Tonight, on Wednesday night, one of your favorite teams has a big game against another big team, Siena and Xavier.
Yeah. Spread
that'll be a good game.
Was it 18?
25.5.
25.5. Wow.
Yeah.
I think I might have to dabble with a little Jerry McNamara.
Oh, you better believe I'm dabbling in Jerry.
You said in, not on.
Either way, it would have been bad.
I did say in. I don't know why I said in. That was weird.
It's pretty.
It's pretty graphic.
Yeah, come on, Jerry.
Wait, that just made it worse.
Yeah, whatever.
Come on, Jerry.
Forget it.
This is taking a turn.
Yeah. Oh man, that's good. Well, I guess on that note, I think we'll end the episode.
Yeah. Hey, just putting it out there. Be very aware. This is the, how I say, like, third best part about college basketball season. Feast week, boys.
Oh yeah.
Maui Invitational tip off, Battle for Atlantis. You're gonna have basketball starting early afternoon. I even think there's like a Myrtle Beach showdown, which who's up for a quick drive? Who it's 10 and a half, 11 hours now. But
it's more like
but seriously, and you got some good tournaments now that are including a lot of these mid majors and small conferences that we like to wager on. So pay attention to those. Feast week coming up next week.
Let's do it. Love it. Good call. All right. Well, real quick, just a couple household things. beardedbakerbrothers.com. Check it out. You can find all of our socials on there. You can find our episodes, YouTube, all that fun stuff. And Brew Stravaganza starts. So just to kind of put that out there, we do a beer advent with a couple people. We're going to be putting some things out there on X. Drink a beer a day all the way up through the Christmas season, which will be starting, I believe it's Sunday. Yeah, it's a Sunday, December 1st, obviously. But so Brew Stravaganza, keep an eye out for that. Shout out to Moneyline Go for our official partnership. Appreciate you guys. Let's keep things rolling, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Keep things rolling. Hey, and we got a little Turkey Day episode next week, so let's have it.
What this is 93.
This is 95, so that'll actually be 96. So we are closing. I know Christmas episode is close to 100. So we're ready. Is it officially? It might be.
I thought you said near Christmas Eve might be 100. I thought.
Yeah, I think it might be, which is kind of cool. So
yeah,
celebrate the times. But happy hump day, happy humps.
Happy humping.
And enjoy the rest of your week.
See you guys.
See you, fellas.
See ya.